Okay, I'm looking here at the sort number 36, which includes consonants that are silent at the beginning of a word. And we have three patterns with KN, WR, and GN. And you can tell right away that I've organized this sort as an orthographic sort. An orthographic sort means that it's the common feature in each of the columns is some spelling feature, the way it's written. So in this case, all the KNs belong together, all the WRs belong together, and the GNs. That would be a good way to start off the sort by making children pay attention to just those common letters. But it's not the ending point. You want to make sure that you can get them all lined up. It helps to have some contrast words, other words that begin with K, other words that might begin with, for example, in the KN column, it might help to have words like never and other words that would be able to contrast the KN. Okay, from there, what you want to do is you want to be able to select just one of the columns to be able to make them perceive what the vowel sound is in each one of these words. So I'm getting rid of the other columns. I've got them still organized as an orthographic or spelling type sort. In other words, all they have to do is pay attention to the KN at the beginning of the word. But I'm going to now move into a type 2 sort where I'm going to create subcategories, one subcategory for each unique vowel. So here's my finished category. Categories that have been derived from all the different vowels, and I've highlighted them in red. You can see that there's really quite a wide range of subcategories. Children need to see that even though you have a common element in all these words of the KN, that quite a few different vowel sounds and renderings are used. So you have not only long I over here with night, but you also have a short I here with knit. All right, and being able to point out those differences is really going to be helpful. Okay, so in sum, what I want to be able to indicate here is that letter name spellers struggle with silent letters, and you can tell that from their invented spellings that they use. Their invented spellings usually are, right by the board for letter name spellers. They just are working with the sounds they hear for each letter. For knife, quickly that gets added on with an E marker. Silent E marker is picked up pretty quickly. Notice it's at the beginning of the word. And then you start moving into this unique formation. In other words, what you see is that they understand that there's a K in the word, and that if you ask them about it, they'll say that they know a K belongs in there somewhere, but they don't know where. Well, logically, that's because they know that there's no K sound at the beginning of the word knife. So they tend to just keep track of it by putting it at the end of the word. So how do you help them acquire it and get it in the right position? First, you have them sort words that are common. You create word walls, word wall patterns, and you keep adding to them, and you have children read and point out different features of your word wall patterns with silent letters. You've got to have children read quite a bit. In other words, for first and second graders, you're trying to get them to read at least 30 minutes a day, spending time. You can break that up, but you've got to get them to be reading and looking at words. Silent letters are not heard. They have to be seen. So most of the silent letters that we acquire came from our reading. They also have to write. It's not until they really attempt to write these words do they master the positioning and the usage. Now, there are other complicated words such as sugar. Sugar is a relatively common word, but children perceive that there's an SH sound in there somewhere. That SH digraph they learned early on in first grade. So you can see that there's a progression of invented spellings that children go through. the invented spellings have to come out through the writing that the child is doing. So if you don't have a robust writing program where they're writing every day, where they're selecting topics and drafting, their spelling is just not going to improve. You don't get these spellings by memorizing them. So to repeat, use orthographic sorts, coming up with columns, being able to sort the silent letter feature into them. Then move into type 2 sorts. Type 2 sorts are going to be able to be a focus on subcategories. In this case, you want to be able to see that each one of the KN words that have a silent letter also play out with many different vowel sounds, and getting them sorted in this right way in conjunction with word walls and the other suggestions I gave you will help them acquire silent letters.